Meghan Markle and her spare, Harry, are reported to be frustrated that the not-so-secret peace talks between their publicists and a senior Buckingham Palace aide were leaked to the press. But by whom? That is the question. Royal experts are in no doubt. It wasn't King Charles or any of his famously discreet courtiers. So, was it the dim Duke of Sussex? Was it his scheming wife, Ms. Markle, Montecito's answer to Machiavelli? You decide. Either way, new revelations point to a realisation by the petulant prince that if he is ever to get back on talking terms with his family, he'll have to leave Meghan in America. The British royals can't stand the sight of her. But now even a solo arrangement for Harry is vanishingly unlikely after the extraordinary saga that turned a supposed confidential London meeting into an embarrassing circus. Whoever it was that spilled the beans and spoiled the entire project at the outset, the newspaper coverage of the covert rapprochement summit was remarkably comprehensive. Caught on camera, the arrival by taxi of the Sussex's communications chief officer and head of their California household, Meredith Maines. She had flown in from California. Also lovingly pictured, the gruesome twosome's UK public relations boss, Liam Maguire. And finally, the King's trusted top executive, Tobin Andre. The three of them conveniently enjoying a drink on the sun-kissed balcony of a private members' club a stone's throw from Charles's London home, Clarence House, photographed with consummate ease. And with the banner publication of this astonishing scoop all over the front pages, there went any slim chance of ending the royal feud. Important to stress that Harry and Meghan are anxious to insist that the leak was nothing to do with them. And in fact, they maintain they're very angry that the story got out. But if it wasn't them and it wasn't their jet-setting flunky Ms. Maines, just who the hell was it? Call me cynical, and I'm not alone, but I can only conclude that someone from the Sussex side of the fence decided to turn the classified conference at the Royal Overseas League Club into an international gossip topic. Did they really think that snitching to the media would help? If so, I've got bad news for them, because not only did breaching the secrecy not help, it destroyed all possibility of repairing the damage the Duke and Duchess have done to their ruined relationship with the royals. And whatever the truth, the King is now even more suspicious of his runaway son, who he has long believed cannot be trusted with private information. As for William, he wanted nothing to do with this early-stage reconciliation powwow because he doesn't want reconciliation. Unlike his soft-hearted father, who hates conflict, the Prince of Wales will never forgive his spoilt brat of a brother for the racist slurs and insults he has hurled across the Atlantic at his bemused relatives. As far as Wills and the similarly seething Kate are concerned, Harry and Meghan are beyond redemption. A lost cause to be written off, ignored and left to their own increasingly desperate devices. Talking of which, ooh, look, Harry's on his own in Africa, retracing his mother Diana's footsteps, visiting a landmine clearing charity. All very worthy, I'm sure. But does anyone care what old Ginger Nuts does in his directionless existence? And call me cynical again. But is Harry's real mission simply to remind us of his money-spinning Di connection? You decide. Otherwise, it's all gone quiet on the West Coast front after at least a week of radio silence on the madly desirable products that dried flower tycoon Meghan keeps selling out of with ridiculous regularity. But the difficult Duchess's thrillingly expensive new range of Chateau Meg rosé wine has at least been successfully obtained by the lucky few, and the reviews are rolling in. Sadly, Ms. Markle's pink drink is not rated as the finest vintage in town, but if you want to get drunk, pop the cork and start swilling. At a fall-down alcohol content of 14.5%, This is extremely strong booze. Compared to the world's greatest rosés from France's Provence region, this less than sophisticated Markle tipple is a second-division ruffian. But connoisseurs of the grape say it's passable in a heavy kind of way, although its bouquet is more hardcore grog than fragrant. Cards on the pub table. I haven't tried Chateau Meg, but it sounds okay to me. My philosophy, if you're going to have a gargle, you might as well know about it. But the really strong thing about the latest addition to Meghan's baffling as ever range is the price. A wallet-busting $30 a throw, minimum purchase, 3 bottles, and $20 shipping. That's a sky-high $110. Enough to make anyone turn to drink. Cheers. Kinsey, these peace talks last weekend. Now, they were leaked, as I said in my monologue, in comprehensive detail to almost an embarrassing...
What's Tobin's shoe size?
Yeah, exactly right, exactly right. Now, we are assured, I know a few royal experts, you know more, you are one, that there's no way that this leak came from King Charles's side of the fence. There's no way it was Tobin Andre. So who was it? It must be from Meghan and Harry's people, at least. My guess is Meghan or Harry. And if they are behind this, and I don't see who else can be, they're so stupid. Because if they want peace, or if Harry wants peace, they just scuppered it. They just ruined it with that revelation. All over the front pages, those peace talks are over already.
Morons, absolutely.
Do you think Meghan spilled it and Harry doesn't know?
So my example, as I've been trying to dissect this, even with friends personally, is that I don't think that Harry had any clue that somebody potentially close to his wife spoke privately to Omid Scobie about the alleged royal racist that ended up in Endgame. I think we have an example of someone close to Prince Harry doing something behind his back.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I do think Harry has said that it wasn't the Sussexes that leaked it, but it's my personal instinct that Meghan Markle, in my opinion, could be behind the leak. We saw a string of glorious, gorgeous images of Catherine, the Princess of Wales, at Wimbledon. We saw, oh my God, Prince William on a polo horse.
Yeah.
You know, we just saw this really great,
gorgeous.
and we're not talking about the horse, but we saw this really great week of Wales watching, the children and everything. And I think that Meghan Markle is envious, like all hell.
She wants to scupper it, doesn't she? Because she knows if he goes back to the royal family, it's curtains for her. But keeping
that's
him
an
away.
interesting point, Ash. Could it be, as Kinsey is suggesting, and I think there's a lot of reason to believe that Kinsey is right. Could it be that Harry, obviously this meeting was carefully arranged. It's got to be stressed, it was supposed to be very early day talks about the possibility of a thawing of the Arctic feud between Harry and his family, especially his dad. Tobin Andre is the King's most trusted courtier, and for that you can take it to the bank. It wasn't Tobin and it wasn't the King, and I suspect that Kinsey's right. I bet it wasn't Harry. I bet he didn't know. I bet you Meghan's done this.
It's control for her, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's her control of him. You know, she gets rid of her own family. She doesn't want him closing up to his family, and he wants that. And he's not. I know he's very stupid, but he's not that stupid that he'd talk about it before. He knew that would scupper it. So it's obviously come from her. We can already see the cracks appearing, and she's nipped that in the bud.
Well, I'll tell you something else, Kinsey. If that's the case, Meredith Maines, must have gone along with it. If she did go along with it, we don't know this, of course, but if she did go on with it, I'm not hiring her as my publicist, because that was a
Well, this
clunking...
is the same woman that put Prince Harry in front of the BBC cameras hours after.
Was that her?
Yes, she
my
arranged
God.
the BBC
She's setting him up.
She arranged the BBC interview right after Prince Harry found out that he officially lost his security case against the UK government. That was one of the most detrimental interviews Prince Harry has ever done. Talking about how he doesn't know how much longer his father is going to live, basically saying that the royal family is out to get him. I'd say that the entire their entire.
She
strategy
set that up. I didn't realise that.
Yes.
Well, you know, we can nail her for that because that was a catastrophe, an absolute.
Like the Prince
catastrophe.
Andrew interview, maybe she had something in that. Although I think that was Princess Beatrice.
Thank you, Ash. Yeah. Thank you for your contribution.
Ash, so there's Harry on his own in Africa now.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Angola, isn't it? No sign of Meghan.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about this. Harry must have found out, oh, look, it's all over the front pages. How did that get there? I'm wondering, you know, how harmonious marital relations are right now behind the gilded gates of their Montecito palace. Maybe not so great.
I think it's been bad for quite a while. They're quite apart a lot of the time, aren't they? And we can all feel it's going to come to an end at some point, can't you? I can just feel it in my water. She's going to want a billionaire. She's played a blinder, though, hasn't she? She's got herself into the, you know, she was D-list.
She hasn't got any money.
Yeah, well, that's why she'll move on to the next person.
She's not going to make any money selling dried flowers and rubbish wine.
If Harry wants to come back, he's got spare two in, you know, thinking they'll have to sign an NDA. You won't be able to mention anything about the royal family if he wants to come back, and they'll have to be without her. There's no way they'd take her back.
What about this, Kinsey? There's a story just breaking this week that Harry, I mentioned it in my monologue, that Harry has accepted that if there is to be any chance of rapprochement, of him restoring a harmonious relationship with his family back here, it'll have to be without Meghan, that they can't stand the sight of her. So that'll be an interesting dynamic.
She'll know that as well.
And as Ash is suggesting, I think it's true. I think that there's a good narrative to be thought about here, that she doesn't want him to get friendly with his family again.
I have a quote here that was kind of cold. Let me pull up this quote. But Harry didn't want Meghan there, Angola. That is one of his friends said. Harry didn't want Meghan there. I think that's a very cold quote. They said, of course, yeah, it has to do with security, but at the same time, he realizes that he looks like this very bitter, petty prince next to her and with her. They're saying she's not even going to be at Invictus 2027.
There's trouble here, isn't there?
I mean, I think that, to Ash's point earlier about control, if you and I and Ash were talking about a man that removed his wife from her family, and they were as close as the royal family was, has completely cut them out, we would say this is emotional abuse. We would say that there is something very serious going on, and we would be concerned for that person.
I hadn't thought of it in those. I think it's a really good point. I mean, she sort of ensnared him, taking him away from his family and everything he knew. And now he's a lonely, lost figure on the West Coast.
He should sit
who doesn't want to go abroad with his wife. Listen, we better move on because you've got some YouTube comments about Meghan, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Let me just get these up.
Talk amongst yourself.
Just hold on there. I'll be right with you. Yeah.
I saw a picture of a pretty girl on his phone just now.
Oh, yeah. I bet you did.
Oh, yeah, you shouldn't have been looking there. Anyway, Anna says, Harry is an arrogant narcissist, but also stupid, which is why he was the perfect minion of Markle. Honestly, the Queen should not have condoned the wedding. Her duty was to her grandson. But she would have felt bad after the Diana. She totally
And
couldn't.
Princess Margaret. Princess Margaret didn't get her love.
Yeah. Also, the Queen wasn't a tyrant. And when we know that she was very doubtful about this romance and the wedding, but, you know, she wasn't going to go to Harry and ban him. And it doesn't really go like that, you know.
And she would have been accused of being a racist.
Yeah.
Well, not since Charles, you know, married.
Well, we were all accused of being a racist. I was just talking about that just now, those days back when she first came into all of our lives when she was dating Harry. And then about, like, we and Britain went, oh, she's amazing, American Queen, Princess, and Harry, oh, isn't she fantastic? And then she turns around about 3 months later and says, you're all racist. And we go, hey, why are we racist? Yeah. She goes, well, because I'm mixed race. We didn't know.
We didn't even know. We thought she was
that's probably why she wrote Caucasian on her actress's CV, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You got another one?
Yeah, I have, actually. This is from Donna Nicholas. Kevin. Harry never got his pilot's licence. He failed the test 3 times. He begged to take it again. The Royal Air Force officers said no in order to save face. They allowed him to train as a gunner, but was never in the pilot seat. And they actually gave him the commander role when he quit, which is the pilot.
OK, so who's that from?
That's from Donna. Donna
Well,
Nichols.
Donna, you're right. I owe you an apology, and I owed Ash an apology because I
that's
shouted
all right.
him down, said he was a pilot. You pointed out that he wasn't. So, to everyone, it doesn't happen often. But
It's never happened before.
What just happened? What just happened?
What just happened?
Yeah, what just happened? It doesn't happen often, but I was wrong.
But you actually, if you think
But
about
that
it,
is so funny. So he failed the pilot test 3 times. He's so dumb.
he's really stupid. I mean, even George W. Bush could fly a plane.
He couldn't pass wind, that guy, could he?
Yeah.
Do you remember he couldn't get into Sandhurst, the officers' training college in the
yeah.
army, either, because he just couldn't pass the right exams. In the end, they got him in. But then again, think about his dad, King Charles, the least qualified man ever to get into Cambridge University. It's amazing what doors are opened for you if you're a member of the British royal family.
Said Meghan Markle.
Yeah, exactly.
Charles got a pilot's licence, and I remember they said, you can land the plane if you want, a big jet, and he went off the runway. So I think that was the end of that.
I know, but William can fly a helicopter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen William fly an helicopter.
So Harry failed the...
Yeah, you've never seen him fly a helicopter, have you?
Stupid,
He
isn't
just
it?
sat next to him, next to the pilot. Can I sit on your knee?
Yeah, I bet he spends most of the day kind of wrestling with his mentality, trying to work out which foot to put forward next, right or left. Which one did I put forward?
Which doorbell do I press?
God almighty.
Do I smoke this blunt in my left hand or my right hand?
Yeah. Shall I get very stoned or just a bit stoned? OK, next.
This is from Jennifer. At least Meghan is trying to make money. What the heck does Harry do? Do you ever see him working towards something? Don't get me. No fondness for Meghan, but let's not forget that Harry is just as responsible or irresponsible.
And that's from...
That is from Jennifer.
Jennifer. I must remember these names. Everything that anyone starts. So, who wrote that? Who wrote that? Anyway,
Short-term memory.
Jennifer. Very, very good point.
Jennifer.
And, I'll give Meghan that. I mean, she sort of tries. But I kind of reject the concept that she's a hard worker.
Well, I love that American Hustle Vanity Fair title. American Hustle.
Yeah.
There's a real desperation about her.
Yeah.
And it's because she's realized she's married a man that has little to no ambition and was completely content with being the spare until she said this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
But it's his fault, isn't it? Because she's just doing what she's done well for herself, where he's the one who's brought it on.
You keep saying that, but we're
Yeah.
not so sure about
Yeah.
that. As we kept saying, we've said this many times, Kinsey, she thought she was marrying a billionaire. And what she actually married was a very low-level millionaire.
With ginger hair.
He's inherited a few bucks along the way, but I don't think he's got enough to maintain this lifestyle of theirs. Hence, she's getting frantic about trying to sort of sell dried flowers. That's not the way to make a fortune, honey, I'll tell you that. And he's doing nothing. I keep saying it, don't I? That going forward, I said this months ago, the story about these two going forward will be financial. It'll be money or that lack thereof. Time for a bad ad.
What do you got there?
Berry pomegranate Mio.
Berry pomegranate what?
Berry pomegranate Mio.
Do I just squirt a little?
Or you can squirt a lot.
Really changes your water.
It changes everything.
You can say that again. Mio, squirt some.
I just hope that that's the last time I hear
That's from your great country.
Yeah, is that what you have, that
sports a
sort of
lot
thing?
on this program. I'm hoping that's the first and last
What
time.
sort of date do you think that advert was, that commercial? That's kind of very weird, wasn't it?
Yeah.
10, 15 years ago, I reckon.
Do you reckon?
I think that was like 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago! Only in America. Let's go to a real break. Well, this week's big moment, the biggest story of the week as far as we're concerned, is Ghislaine Maxwell. It's the Epstein files. It's Donald Trump. Of course, questions are now being asked, specifically by Elon Musk. What is British heiress, well, she once was an heiress, Ghislaine Maxwell, doing in jail? She's doing, I think, 20 years for sex trafficking women, and yet this revolved around the Epstein files, and the FBI and the Department of Justice has now said that the Epstein files essentially don't exist, and there wasn't any trafficking. So What is she? Why is she in jail? Donald Trump, your president, Kinsey, is catching a lot of flack about this. A lot of MAGA people are saying, hang on a second, you suddenly say this doesn't exist. You said it did exist and you were going to release the files.
Yes.
They're saying, well, are you trying to save your own skin? But the big question, and I think Elon Musk, who sort of unreliable kind of a guy, but I think he's got a point here. What is Ghislaine Maxwell doing in prison for trafficking when the Department of Justice and the FBI have now announced there was no trafficking?
Right. Well, we specifically heard from Pam Bondi that there were tapes, that there was a file on her desk. This isn't a conspiracy theory when actual members of the government have told us that there is tangible evidence that they are going to release, and then to suddenly be like, just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah. There never was, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I do believe that Epstein had security video or well-placed cameras so that he could blackmail high-profile individuals. And it leads us to wonder, are the government holding on to some of these tapes to blackmail high-profile individuals? I know that's a little, I think that's a little...
Why wouldn't they?
Well, Pat Bondi was on Fox News Live and was asked by the TV interviewer, said, well, have you got any evidence about the Epstein files? She goes, yeah, right here on my desk, right here. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah.
And then a week later, there is no evidence.
Right.
They don't exist, these files. There's something very strange going on. Here is Donald Trump's biographer, Michael Wolff.
When he became very wary about the arrest of Ghislaine Maxwell and asked whether or not, what could she say, what would she say, and should he pardon her?
Michael Wolff, who always writes better than he talks, but he knows his onions, as it were. And many Americans, Trump supporters, are asking right now, Kinsey, what the hell is going on here?
What just happened?
What just happened?
I have a friend in common with you, Barry Levine, who is Jeffrey Epstein biographer and expert, and he told me months ago that he felt like Donald Trump was on the Epstein list. And the Epstein list doesn't have to be somebody that sexually assaulted somebody. It could just be somebody that was on the plane or that spent time
exactly
with
right.
Professor Stephen Hawking.
And so, exactly. One of the guys from the guy that's in the movie with Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker, the actor's in it, who's become like a very strong Christian. So I doubt he was up to no good.
Bill Clinton, of course.
Bill Clinton, of course. So I do wonder if it's self-preservation. I guess we're going to have to wait and see, because these things do not stay secret. We had multiple people like Kash Patel, threatening to leave their positions because they were unhappy about it. We will see what happens. This is not the end of the story.
They'll pardon Ghislaine, as I like to call her.
Ghislaine.
They'll say to her, look, you don't want to end up like
Ghislaine.
You don't want to
we'll
end up...
try and edit that, but if we don't, sorry about that.
You don't want to end up like your mate Epstein, do you? Do you know what I mean?
Well,
murdered.
Yeah, well, you say that they'll pardon her.
You are out of control today.
I think it's quite a leap. She's been launching an appeal on these grounds. What am I in jail for? And there is talk that Trump might be set to pardon her. What makes me uncomfortable, always did about this, whatever the truth is, and you're right, you mustn't, if there's a list of people who went to Pedo Island, that's not a crime to be on the list. It depends what the list said and what was entailed. But what always made me uncomfortable about this entire saga, this was a scandal of men. This was men, alleged high-profile VIP men, allegedly being provided with sexual favours, underage women, by the billionaire, the mysterious billionaire, Jeffrey Epstein. This was investigated, has been investigated, and the only person to go to jail is a woman. It's a woman. It's uncomfortable, isn't it?
It is, but there's also this feeling of two-tier justice. If you are Bill Clinton or if you're somebody important, you could potentially be getting away with it solely because you're a little bit more important than I am. I think that upsets people, but it's just the lack of clarity and hearing all of these different versions. I think
But we know powerful people like that aren't going to... Trump's not going to ever get done for that.
Well,
Sort
no.
Look,
He's the president, that's why.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Prince Andrew, guilt by association. Prince Andrew, even if he didn't sleep with Virginia Giuffre, even if nothing happened, we will not forgive him because of those pictures of him walking in the park with Jeffrey Epstein. Guilt by association. Yeah. So even if you are on this list, you don't want it out there.
And of course, the enduring question, Prince Andrew, of course, we have to say, utterly denies even knowing Virginia Giuffre, let alone the allegation that he had sex with her on 3 different continents, to which we, of course, all say, well, what the hell did you give her $12 million not to go to the civil courts for then? Answer that, Randy Andy.
Don't sweat it,
right,
Andy.
let's move on to the next sort of big moment, the sort of second biggest moment of the week. And that's a story over here, but it involves America as well. It's about the war in Afghanistan, and America went to war there. Britain went over to help, as we all know. We all remember, of course, that dreadful airlift that basically ruined Joe Biden forever when they pulled the Americans out. Let's have a look at that.
This was the direct result of President Biden's decision-making, and it resulted in the loss of 13 U.S. service members, the deaths of thousands of Afghan citizens, and billions of dollars of U.S. military equipment left in the hands of the Taliban. It was a complete disaster.
It certainly wasn't. Biden never recovered from that. It was a total debacle. But now we find out. So during that war, there were Afghanis that helped the Americans and the British. Translators, various workers, some soldiers, etc. There were Afghanis who helped us in that war against their own country because their own country was the damn Taliban. So you can't blame them for that. Everybody hates the Taliban, even nearly every Afghani. Anyway, this has emerged this week, folks, here in this country in Britain, that secretly, for the past 2 years, we have been busy airlifting out of Pakistan. We've been secreting tens of thousands of Afghanis out of Afghanistan to Pakistan, flying them secretly to Britain, and then giving them houses and welfare. We've brought 18,500. There's about 4,000 or 5,000 more slated to come. And this is because some idiot at our Ministry of Defence, who's apparently a military official, pressed the wrong button and shared a list of 100,000 Afghanis who were supposed to have helped the British during the Afghanistan war, at which point our government decided, well, their lives are at risk. Now that the Taliban know who they are, the Taliban will kill them. So we started flying them here. But the government was so embarrassed by their mistake, they took out a super-injunction in the courts so that the electorate, the people who elected them, weren't allowed to know. We found that out this week. After 2 years of this going on. It's an absolute disgrace. It's cost £7 billion flying these people to the country secretly. And the big question is, and this is 100%, there's no way that we were aided and abetted by 100,000 Afghanis. I heard hundreds at the most, maybe 4,000. Somebody said 4,000. Friend of mine, officer who served in Afghanistan, I phoned him the other day, a couple of days ago. I said, what's it for this 100,000? He said, put it this way, I was there for 4 years. He said, I saw about 100 interpreters. Yeah. So this 100,000 it's a list of people in Afghanistan who applied, who asked if they could be brought to Britain. Oh. They're not necessarily collaborators. They're just people chancers who wanted to come. So we've just been flying all these people here, no questions asked. We don't know anything about them. We know that on that list are convicted sex offenders. Oh. We're flying them in because even though they're sex offenders, we can't have them killed by the Taliban. And we know nothing about them, and we're going to give them welfare for life and free houses. It is a scandal that is off the scale. What did you make of it, Kinsey?
What do I make? Where do we even begin with this one? I feel like, why do we even follow the rules? We are not rewarded for, staying within the lines, and I just don't understand. First of all, your government, obviously I love this country and I wish I could live here, but from an outsider's perspective, it never seems to prioritize you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, not only that, puts us in prison if we mention anything. You know, it's against us.
So I better get out of here. I better get out of here before
No, you're
they,
all right. You're not
before they hear
British.
me.
We're the ones who get in trouble.
But, you know, I hear people and I see...
Don't come here, Kinsey. It's a tyrannical hellhole.
Yeah, well, it is.
But I see and hear some of your viewers, they talk about their council tax going up, heat or eat, you know, how am I going to eat dinner or am I going to sleep through the night comfortably? I mean, they are...
Eat or heat.
Yeah, they're struggling. And
some can't do either now.
Yeah, and I think, why does the government not prioritize its own and listen to people that are sincerely struggling? You know, the birth rates are declining. People are afraid to have children in this environment.
You can't afford it.
I don't think it is that. I think that it's because British people are so unattractive. They don't want to have sex with each other. I think that's probably the problem. Yeah. No, you're right. That's just a joke, folks. At our own expense. You know, I'm British, sort of. But Kinsey's exactly right. This Afghan scandal.
Yeah.
And by the way, folks, it is a massive scandal. Massive. People in this country are furious about this. You can't keep secrets from your people like that using the courts. Unbelievable. But it proves that what's happening is these Afghani migrants that we've brought in, they're going straight to the top of the social housing queue, leapfrogging over Brits who've been waiting for years.
They have like 5 kids. Their families.
Yeah, they're bringing their families, and they've been promised welfare benefits for life.
Oh,
they don't have to work.
They don't have to work. They'll get everything. But like you said, there was a couple of hundred of interpreters and about 1,000 Afghan forces. But there's 100,000 or 20 to 100,000 coming. Some of them blackmailed, said, I've got the list. If you don't let me in and my family, I'm going to release the list. So they said, oh, we better let them in. You know, it's all just made up bunker. And we had an election as well, Kev. How can you have a democracy where you don't know all what's going on?
Exactly right,
like this?
Exactly
Unbelievable.
Right. But, you know, I totally accept that there were Afghanis who really did help us. Some of them fought alongside us. Some of them were interpreters. There was a caucus of Afghanis who were vital to the British cause over there. We owe them a debt of responsibility, but what's happened is loads of people have jumped on the bandwagon and we've just let them all in. So what you've got, a list of 100,000 people, most of them chances and opportunists saying, can I come to Britain? And we've just gone, yeah.
And not only that, they're coming, they're going to get everything paid for, and then they're going to sue us for the mess up that never really happened to them in the first place. And apparently it's going to get about 100 grand each.
This is what I'm saying.
But yeah, that's the other point. They're suing us
for making their lives better.
For leaking this list for £1 billion. And we saved their lives. We saved their lives, and now they're suing us. And I'll bet you they get their damn money as well. It's unbelievable. Anyway, time now for the new addition to this fabulous show. It is The Small Moment, Kev's Small Moment. This is this is a brilliant story. I'll tell you, it's like, you think about this. The way people's lot in life, how do we end up doing what we do? You know, we're all journalists.
Yeah.
You know, how did that happen? And you see a road sweeper or a bank manager or a politician. How did they end? You know, how does that happen? Life's turbulent highway. Now, how did a woman in Thailand that they're calling, she has the name of Ms. Golf, how did she end up doing this for a living? Screwing Thai monks and secretly filming them and then blackmailing them. And she has made, so she screwed loads and loads of Thai monks, filmed them. She is thought to have made $11.9 million blackmailing these very holy monks. Here's a clip.
Thailand's Buddhist monastic order has been rocked by a sex scandal involving several high-ranking monks. They allegedly had an affair with the same woman and were then blackmailed for large sums of money.
Police have arrested a 35-year-old woman on Tuesday who allegedly developed sexual relationships with senior monks, only then to blackmail them.
It's astonishing, isn't it, Ash?
Bad karma, isn't it? But yeah, we think of Buddhist monks as all peaceful and stuff, but I've seen they have big fights and riots out there.
They're all
It's not
setting
like-
fire to themselves, aren't they?
Yeah, well, they do that as well if they get annoyed with something. But yeah, she's done all right there. Maybe Meghan should have took a leaf out of her book.
But you know what I mean, Kinsey? It's what a strange thing to end up doing for a living. Yeah. What do you do for a living? I have sex with monks and then I blackmail them.
Yeah. I mean, I just said. Well, we are following the rules, and I don't have $1 million in the bank. I don't understand how. Maybe that's...
You want to get to Thailand, man?
yeah. There's a lot more monks out there, you know.
Market.
Yeah, exactly. It makes me feel so defeated that I always try to follow the rules.
She had apparently 80,000 photos and videos that she used in her blackmailing racket.
Gosh.
I mean, it takes all sorts, but that, folks, is a story.
Yeah.
Not a small moment. That's an enormous moment.
Well, maybe you were talking about the monks.
Yeah. Monk sex. It's a real thing, folks. Let's go to a bad ad.
Amazon Prime Video. Amazon Prime Video.
Oh my God, this is a Japanese advert for Amazon. Wow. I mean,
incredible. A human dog. That'll be coming soon at some point.
Respect to Japan and its fantastic culture and its marvellous people. But when it comes to your commercials, you guys are really, really weird. I'm freaked out. Let's go to a real break. What just happened?
He's mad as hell. It's Kevin O'Sullivan.
And welcome back. This is part 3 of this spectacular edition of What Just Happened. And this is the bit where we try to answer some of your queries. It's viewers' questions. What do you got, Ash?
I've got one here. It says, President Trump has said he is giving serious consideration to removing Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship. He claims she is a threat to humanity. What do you think?
I think he's exactly right. She must have her citizenship removed. She's moved to Ireland, old Rosie O'Donnell, because she's one of these virtue signalers. They go, if Donald Trump ever gets in, I'm going to leave the country. Yeah, just like Ellen DeGeneres did until she found out that it rains a lot in Britain, so she's gone back.
No, Ellen's still here.
Is she still here?
I'm sorry to tell you.
Damn. Well, why don't you go back, Ellen? We don't really want you. Rosie O'Donnell, yeah, I think Donald's right, but he won't be able to take her citizenship away because she was born in the United States of America. So her citizenship is sacrosanct. What do you think,
I
Kinsey?
think that this is just another example of Donald Trump bringing peace on earth because Rosie and Ellen notoriously hate each other.
Yeah.
And Ellen slid onto Rosie's Instagram post where Rosie was tearing into Trump to support her. And these are the same women that, back in April, Rosie was like, we still have beef. I don't know if I'll ever, be friendly with Ellen again, to Entertainment Weekly magazine. And now Donald Trump is the common denominator. These women are going to be best friends forever now.
Yeah, why do you think that Rosie O'Donnell and Ellen DeGeneres hate each other? Well, everybody else hates them, so they might as well join the club, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The thing I think about both of these two, right? I think deep back in history, they're supposed to be comedians or something.
Yes.
Are either of them, even remotely funny?
No, I haven't laughed at either one of them. I mean, I laughed when I saw that they fled the country, but that was the last time.
Yeah, well, we didn't because they came our way.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just absolutely, totally unfunny people, particularly Rosie, who spends all the time sort of being furious about stuff, doesn't she?
Right. She just was on the Sex and the City reboot, just like that, playing a nun who loses her virginity to one of the characters. I mean, I'm like, oh, no.
Oh, God.
Oh, how the mighty have
nun.
fallen.
Right, so we're doing a lot of stories about sex with religious people, aren't we, today?
Yeah.
Here's Donald Trump banning Rosie.
Rosie O'Donnell, she went on Chris Cuomo's show recently. She blames you for the fact that she's overweight, depressed, and drunk. What do you say to that? Do you think PDS is going to ever be a DSM-5 diagnosis?
I don't know about Rosie. I watch Rosie. Rosie's a mess. She's a mess.
He's so funny, isn't he? So she blames Donald Trump for being like fat and miserable.
Yeah. I mean...
His hair's much better, I must say.
It's that's not why you're fat, Rosie, I'll tell you that. Right, next question then.
Next question.
Ash?
P. Diddy's twin daughters have decided to cash in on their father's release with the launch of a new clothing collection. Is this bad timing, Kev?
Well, let's point out that P. Diddy, or whatever he's calling himself this week, has not been released, but there's a chance that he could be. If so, P. Diddy's twin daughters. I mean, they'll cash in anyway, but if he gets released, they'll do even better. Here's the commercial.
Hey guys, it's the Combs twins. I'm Jessie. And I'm Delilah. And today we have a very, very big and exciting announcement. We are launching our very own clothing line.
Everything's an opportunity in the land of the free, isn't it?
Yeah.
What clothes will they make?
Like, is it baby oil free? Like,
There'll be a little pocket for baby oil.
Oh, good Lord.
As long as it...
What do you reckon? Will he walk?
Well, I mean, Alan Dershowitz, who was heavily involved in the Epstein trial, was allegedly accused and fought his way out of that.
On the list, it doesn't exist.
The list doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Alan Dershowitz says that he could appeal and he could walk. He said that there is a chance of that, but there is also a chance that he could spend 20 years in jail. This, I think, is vulgar. The children releasing the clothing line right now, like, yay, Dad, after all of this bad press, get out of here. I think the reasonable PR thing to do would be to go away and disappear for years at a time.
I love outside the court, there's all these people, P. Diddy, yeah.
Spraying baby
free
oil.
Diddy, we love you. And then the video of him beating the hell out of that poor woman.
Yes.
Well, it's like the O.J. Simpson after that trial, all celebrating that sort of trial at the end.
I was there. I was at that trial.
Wow.
I covered that trial. I was there with that moment. You remember, if the glove don't fit, you must acquit. That was Johnny Cochran. Man, he could get anyone off. Oh, P. Diddy, if Johnny was still alive, he'd be the lawyer for you, I'll tell you. Because O.J. Simpson was as guilty as damn sin.
Alan Dershowitz represented him too.
Yeah. Actually, I'll tell you who else. Who was it Kim Kardashian's dad, I think?
Yes.
Was in Robert Kardashian.
Robert Kardashian.
Was part of O.J.'s legal team. Let's go to a real break. What just happened?
He's mad as hell. It's Kevin O'Sullivan.
Welcome back. This is part 4 of this very special edition of What Just Happened, because we've got Flash Ash, of course, but more especially we've got the wonderful Kinsey Schofield all the way from America. And this is the complaints department, where we go through some of the many messages, the thousands of messages you are kind enough to send us. We do appreciate it, even if you insult us. Let's go through a couple of them, shall we? What do you got, Kinsey?
Well, Kevin, I think I found the president of your fan club, Rodine, says, Kevin, I admire your ability to navigate all your delightful tongue twisters, and there are 3 heart emojis.
Wow. Rodine, she obviously went to a good school as well.
Yeah, that's the Queen's School, wasn't it?
Yeah, well brought up young lady. Rodine, let's meet. Go on, Ash.
This is from Diana Dews. I loved it when Ash said Ghislaine, and then there's a smiley laughing thing.
Oh, my God.
Stop calling her Ghislaine.
They like it. They love it.
All right, so McCarroll says, I love you guys. You're so funny and truthful at the same time. Funny Scam Jam. Kev loves Scam Jam. I love that. Scam Jam, paint strippers. Nice, you have me laughing all the time. Well, I think I missed the paint strippers.
It
memo.
makes good paint stripper, it turns out.
I think we decided it was a use for the Scam Jam.
I think that I have a very American view of the word
strippers. By the way,
strippers.
just briefly, what I was saying in my monologue, this, Chateau Meg Rosé, 14.5% alcohol.
It's so you get drunk you order it again.
That's the sort of stuff that hobos drink on Skid Row.
Very apt,
that is strong stuff.
You
that
are
really is.
going to be tore up from the floor up after Meghan Markle's As Ever Rosé.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, I'm all for it. I like a strong drink. Actually, maybe not a rosé though. I like rosé wine. And apparently, the other thing about it is, the great rosés are all very, very light pink, very light. It's almost a tint. Hers is very dark. It's very dark, apparently.
Well, that's racist.
I'm very... Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, going to be off comms now. Go on, Ash.
From Christine, This says, wow, what a nasty show. And the comments are just as bad. I got through about 2 minutes and that was enough for me. Just a bunch of mean girls.
What was that, Christine?
Yeah.
What a nasty show.
Yeah. That's why people watch
That's why we're here.
Yeah, man.
Look, what I say is that if I can't say anything nasty about anyone, I won't say anything at all. Sorry, is that right? That's not the right phrase, is it?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm breathing
Sorry,
for.
let me do that again. If I can't say anything nice about anybody, I won't say anything at all. The philosophy of this show is you've got to eliminate the positive and accentuate the negative.
Yeah,
what have you got, Kinsey?
All right, well, Jill says, Kevin, I can't get enough of your show. You are like a warm fuzzy to me, and your sense of humor is captivating. Heart emoji.
There you go. There you go.
Are right on the Epstein files. You have the story right.
And that was again.
What, Kev's right on the Epstein files?
Jill, thank you very much. Well, keep watching. Tell all your friends, your attractive friends.
Sincerely, your warm fuzzy.
Yeah, I know. I'm doing well this week, aren't I? What have you got, Ash?
This is from Debs Chatburn. Good to see Ash on the panel and on a different programme as well as the evening show. Love his spontaneity and honesty. Well, it's good, it seems that way. And sense of humour. They work well together.
Ash is very funny, but not in a good way.
Yeah,
that is by the way, great jacket. I mean it. Thanks, I really like that jacket.
Oh, no, I mean, are we just going to... Is this just a love fest?
Yeah, man.
Because,
and look how wonderful you look,
because
Kinsey. What about me?
Because LA Surf Girl says, I love this show. All of you work so well together. You were actually sane people, which is rare today, especially on, no offense, but UK talk shows. Did you see that Nadine, whatever her name is? She did Big Brother. She was the one that said Kate aged horribly after cancer. Yes. Did you see that she tweeted Prince Harry is the real King of England? Some of the people that you guys put on television in this country are freaking crazy. And whatever Big Brother girl, she's one of them.
It's Nadia.
Yeah, Nadia.
Well, this is a sane... What is it? A sane show? This is comparatively sane. What we don't deal in on this show is the kind of BS you get on the mainstream terrestrial programs.
Right.
The mainstream terrestrial programs in this country in particular are really plummeting downhill. Absolute rubbish. But anyway, I'm trying to get myself a job on mainstream BBC at the moment because there's a couple of vacancies on MasterChef. Have you got any more, Ash?
Yeah, this is from Susan. Ash nailed it with schmaltzy. Markle is the definition of schmaltzy.
Yeah, well, Ash nails a lot of things.
I do.
He really does.
Hey-o.
Yeah. I try my best.
Well, somebody is criticizing they say, who says Meghan Markle is a savvy businesswoman? She has flop after flop. Yeah. Did she ever build a business plan and follow through? Or she thinks she is so adored by millions of people that they're just going to open up their wallet and buy this mediocre product marked up thanks to her name. She plunges money into these ventures and drains away her lucky Netflix money. These two have an army of staff on two sides of the ocean. It's absolutely ridiculous. That's Ling Tong.
Who's that from?
Ling Tong.
Ling Tong. Ling Tong, you're on next week's show. Absolutely brilliant. That's exactly what I think and exactly what Kinsey thinks. And who knows what the hell Ash thinks. But it's time for a bad ad.
It's me, the extra crispy Colonel. My extra crispy $20 fill-up feeds a family of 4. It's crunchy, juicy, and oh so tasty.
I don't know. And on that KFC bombshell, though, I want to thank Ash, as always.
Thanks,
excellent
man.
performance
Loved
again.
it.
And the brilliant Kinsey Schofield.
Yeah,
Wasn't she great? I was pretty good as well, wasn't I? What do you mean, no? What do you mean, no? No, seriously, thank you so much for watching. It's been a great show. And we'll be back with more of the same time next week. We expect you to be there.